Yeah, Ryan's Jason with a Smash Up expansion. So this is the first official expansion. Awesome level 9,000. So if you want to know a little bit, kind of how the game's played, go check out either if I by now if I posted a how to play, or check out the first video on the base set. Which I go through a pretty quick explanation. But even a quicker one is you take two decks. This is a smash deck building game. You take two different fractions or teams. You smash them together, make a 40 card deck. Then you play either minions, which are various creatures, monsters, people, whatever, or actions. And you get to play one card each turn. Try to take over different bases by getting a certain amount of points, and then once you have so many points on a base, you score it, get victory points. Personally, 15 points wins. So the first set had some of the staples of like a versus stuff. We had dinosaurs, pirates, ninjas, things like that, robots, zombies. So an awesome level 9,000. We get a little crazier. We get some more interesting stuff. So like I did say in the first video is you can actually buy one of these box sets and play it by itself. You don't have to buy the core deck. It's just because you're only going to have 4 decks and you have to mash 2 of them together, you're only going to be able to play versus one other person. But if you bought 2 different expansions, you could, then you could mash up them in different combinations. You could play a 4-player game. So you don't have, that's what actually makes this Smash Up games really fun, is that you can kind of buy, as long as you buy at least 2 sets or a base set, in one other set, you can play multiple people. So yeah, they give you an instruction book which explains how everything is. One new thing they added in here are VP tokens. So you're gonna get a pile of these little tokens. So there's 5s and 1s. So the base set did not have these, but then I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to 100% say that, but I'm pretty sure every other expansion adds them in there. And that's just so you can keep track of how many points you've scored when you've done bases, or you get certain ability monsters or actions. They'll say gain 1 VP, or whatever. Just that way you can score them without having to keep track. Terms, different things. So our 4 different factions are the Bear Cavalry, Ghosts, Killer Plants, and Steampunk. So those are our 4 ones. We're going to just jump right into it then and see what we got. Not going to spend a ton of time. So we're going to start with our friendly Ghosts. Or maybe not so friendly. I guess we'll find out. So what better card to start off with than just Ghosts, and we're going to have 4 copies of that. So you may discard a card from your hand. Which, why would you want to get rid of cards in your hand? We'll find out. Because they're definitely tying to some of the other cards. We have 2 Hauntings. Ongoing. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, this minion has +3 power and is not affected by other players' cards. So interesting. So the less cards you keep in your hand, the more powerful some of your cards will be. We have 3 copies of a Spirit. Choose a minion. You may discard cards equal to its power to destroy it. And then our big guy is we have the Spectre. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, at any time you can play a minion. Anytime you can play a minion, you can play this card from your discard pile instead. So you can pop this guy out, have him score bases, and you can go back in there. So definitely interesting mechanics here. So we have Shady Deal. Looks like it's the 3 of the ghosts, because there's the Spectre, the Ghost, and I think the other guy. Yeah, it's like all 4 of them, like as humans. It's kind of neat. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, gain 1 VP. Here they're having the Dead Rise. Discard any number of cards. Play an extra minion from your discard pile with a power less than the number of cards you discarded. Door to the Beyond. Play on a base. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, you gain... each of your minions here has +2 power. Cross the Divide. Choose a card name. Place any number of minions with that name from your discard pile into your hand. Make Contact. You can only play this card if it's the last card in your hand. Play on a minion. Treat this minion as yours while it and this card are in play. Is stealing someone else's. It's got a little work through to get there because you have to discard stuff, but doesn't seem to be a problem with this deck. A Seance. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, draw until you have 5 cards. You need to reshuffle everything. 2 copies of the Ghostly Arrival. You may play an extra minion and or an extra action. I like this and or, so you can actually do both. Just super powerful, but it's like, you know, you're also getting rid of most of your cards. An Incorporeal. Play on one of your minions. This minion is not affected by other players' cards. You make 2 copies of that. Yeah, so the ghosts seem really interesting. They're all about getting rid of cards, having few cards, which, if you're playing with certain other decks, they're going to work on playing a bunch of cards repeatedly. Like, in the base game, you had robots that had a lot of stuff with playing cards quick. Zombies allow you to discard cards from your hand sometimes to get zombies out. Or the Wizards let you play a lot of extra action stuff. So some of the decks might work well to get cards out of your hand really quick. So here I have a Haunted House. After a player plays a minion here, that player must discard a card, which any other deck that would suck. For the Ghost, it's probably super beneficial. And the Dread Gazebo. Players cannot play actions on this base. So there's our Ghosts. Now let's look at our Killer Plants. Probably the next more common, like, monster or creature type, I would guess. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the Sprouts. Ongoing. Destroy this card at the start of your turn. You may search your deck for a minion with 3 power or less. Play it there as an extra minion. Shuffle your deck. So basically, you play it next turn. You can basically get rid of him to grow him into something bigger. But it's also an extra minion, so you get to play another card. We have 3 copies of the Water Lily. Ongoing. Draw cards at the start of each year. Draw a card at the start of each your turn. Use 1 Water Lily's ability each turn. So you can't have all 3 of them out and gain 3 cards, but having extra cards sure helps. We have 2 copies of the Weed Eater. This minion has -2 powers the turn you play it. That's actually kind of neat. It's one of the more, because not a lot of cards have a bunch of 5s. So this one has 2, but starts off as a 3, but then the next turn it gets more powerful. It grows, like a plant mechanic. And then we have another 5, the Venus Mantrap. Talent. Search your deck for a minion with 2 power or less, and play here as an extra minion. Shuffle your deck. So a talent is, I think, a new keyword that they added in here, which is different than special. So like special says, most abilities happen when you play a card. Special abilities happen at unusual times or in unusual ways. So usually a special is going to say, it's going to have like an effect. Like you have a play card, so you play this, do this, ongoing, permanent. But a special is going to be like, when this happens, do this. So talents, on the other hand, is ability you may use once per turn, sort of like an extra action. So this is one that you can choose to use, but it's not a forced one. It's not conditional. It's not waiting for something to happen. Alright, let's look at some actions. We have 2 copies of Insta Growth. Playing extra minion. We have Blossom. Play up to 3 extra minions that all have the same name. Deep Roots. Playing a base. Ongoing. Your minions cannot be moved or returned to your hand by other players' abilities. Entangled. Playing a base. Minions may not be moved or returned to your hands from any base where you have a minion. Destroy this card at the start of your turn. Budding. Choose a minion and play. Search your deck for a copy of that card. Place it in your hand and shuffle it. So this one has a lot of stuff where it's keeping your guys from being stuff happening to them, or letting you get cards kind of about like grow, like again it seems it's very plant mechanic-y. Playing a minion. Ongoing. At the start of your turn, destroy this minion. We have a copy of Overgrowth. Playing a base. At the start of your turn, reduce the break point to 0. So that's kind of cool. So you can throw this down. It's just going to wait till your next turn, but it's going to make it 0. So that way, next turn it's going to score. The only problem is it's going to score immediately. So if you're not like way ahead, everyone else has like one turn to try and do stuff. 2 copies of Sleep Spore, which are final actions. Play on a base. All other minions have -1 power here. And our 2 locations, we're going to get a greenhouse. Do not step on the plants. The winner may search his or her deck for a minion. Play it on the base that replaces this one. And Secret Grove. On your turn, you may play 1 extra minion of 2 power or less here, and this affects everybody. Alright, that's our killer plants. Our third one, we're going to have some steampunk. Everyone loves steampunk, so we have 4 copies of Captain Ahab, which says, talent, move this minion to a base that has one of your actions played on it. So he gets to move, but he requires actions. We have 3 copies of the Steam Man. Ongoing, has +1 power if your base has one of your actions played on it. So you can kind of see what this guy's going for. Or this team. Mechanic. Choose an action in your discard pile that can be played on a base. Play it as an extra action. And finally, our Steam Queen. Ongoing. Your actions are not affected by other players' cards. She protects all your stuff. So we're going to get some actions here. We have Aggro Motive. Play on a base. Ongoing. If you have a minion here, you have +5 power. Help you score quick. We got 2 copies of the Zeppelin. Play on a base. Talent. Move one of your minions from another base to here, or from here to another base. Ordinate Dome. Play on a base. Destroy all other players' actions here. Other players cannot play actions on this base. Change of venue. Place one of your actions that is on a base or a minion into your hand. Play it again as an extra action. So it's kind of cool. You gotta move your action cards around. Scrap Diving. Place an action from your discard pile in your hand. Escape Hatch. Play on a base. Ongoing. When your minions here are destroyed, place them in your hand instead of the discard pile. The Rotary Slug Thrower. Place on a base. Their ongoing minions here each have +2 power. And our final action is the Difference Engine. Play on a base. Ongoing. If you have a minion here, draw an extra card at the end of your turn. So lots of stuff with putting stuff on bases. So that would work nice with the Tricksters I know had it. The Munchkins. Not the Munchkins. The Pirates. Inventor's Salon. The winner may take an action from his or her discard pile and place it in his or her hand. And the Workshop. When a player plays an action card on this base, that player may play an extra action. I like how the bases are always kind of themed towards them, but they'd be really fun to try with other things. So now the fourth and final faction is kind of an odd one. We have the Bear Cavalry. Ugh, hard word to go. So, Rushing Bears is basically what this is. So we have a Cub Scout. I like the little puns in the names too. Ongoing. After another minion moves here, if it has less power than this minion, destroy it. So it's interesting. So after they move there, so basically it's kind of protecting it. We have the aforementioned Bear Cavalry, 3 copies. Moving other player's minion from here to another base. So he's going to scare them off. We have 2 copies of Polar Commando. Ongoing, if this is your only minion on this base, has +2 power and cannot be destroyed. So you have one minion that's going to, if a guy's there, destroys them, keeps them by themselves. Another one's going to scare guys away. This one, if it's by himself, he's going to gain extra power. And then we have General Ivan. Your minions cannot be destroyed. He's 6. That's one of the higher ones. Alright, let's look at our cool actions for these guys. We have high ground. They'll be fighting the dinosaurs. On the base. Play on a base. If you have a minion here, destroy any other player's minion that moves here. You're pretty much borscht. Choose a base where you have a minion. Move all other players' minions from there to one other base. So then why would you want to move guys? It's going to break them. Because if you have these other cards where they destroy things that are weaker than them, play a big bear, power them up with some other cards, move everybody to them, destroy them all in one shot. We have Commission. We have 2 copies of that. Playing extra minion. Then move another player's minion from the extra minion's base to another base. Bear Hug. Each other player destroys his or her minion with the least power. Owner chooses in case of tie. Bear Ride Zoo. Move one of your minions to another base. Superiority. Play on a base. Your minions here cannot be destroyed, moved, or returned to your hand or deck by other players' cards. 2 copies of You're Screwed. Choose a base where you have a minion. Move another player's minion from there to another base. And finally, Bear Necessities. Destroy an action that has been played on a minion or base. Yes, these guys are very interesting because they're all about either bringing other minions to your base so you can destroy them, or moving them to another base, which you can effectively use to move them to a base that has a guy that can destroy them. Like, they're good at manipulating where the other player's going to be, rather than some of the other characters where you can manipulate yours wrong. These guys manipulate other players. So we have the Tsar's Palace. Minions of 2 power or less cannot be played here. And the Field of Honor. When one or more of your minions here are destroyed, the player who destroyed them gains 1 VP. Should work really well with this deck. Alright, so that is the awesome level 9000. So if you're looking for 4 other interesting groups of teams to play as, here you go. We got Steampunk, Killer Plants, Ghost, and Bear Cavalry. Check out the other videos. See you guys there. Bye.